Senator Robin Padilla. So ang suggestion ko, isampan na yung ethics case at doon na po sa ethics committee natin pag-usapan ito dahil marami pang ibang mga mas importanteng bagay sa aking paniwala ang dapat nating talakayin. Maraming salamat po. For the record, sir.
So, ang ibig pong sabihin ba niya na hindi kayang mahumingi ng paumanhin ng isang veteran senator para sa kanyang pagtaas ng boses? Yun po ba?
Then why not ask him? Sorry, Senator Bato, kung paano nakarating si Senator Bato, then ask him. Or ask the now Senate President, who was the one who said that nandyan na siya. Wala ko talaga akong alam. So, Mr. President, a false public imputation, whenever made, is exactly what the above-mentioned rules were designated to prevent. Unverified allegations about a colleague falls below the standard of professionalism that is demanded of public officials. Magulo na nga ang mundo, magulo na ang Pilipinas, wag na nating dagdagan. Don't say things about your colleagues that are not true.
It also declared that Philippine courts have the competence and capacity to try and decide these cases. Kung ganun po pala, this is the national policy already articulated even before the halls of the United Nations. Bakit pinipilit pa natin na i-serve ang isang warrant of arrest na hindi na natin kinikilala ang jurisdiction ng lintik na ICC na yan?
Grabe nga ho ito mga kapatid, wala ho tayong mahabang pag-usapan dito ha. Sigawan, matindi na naman hong tensyon na nangyari dito sa minority kontra ho dyan sa majority kasi mantagin po ninyo mga kapatid. Ito nga si Pinky Lacson, nag-vlog daw ho siya. Sabi ho ni Sen Pia Cayetano na sinisiraan daw ho ang kanyang pangalan at idinadawit na siya daw ho ang nagsakay dito kay Senator Bato de la Rosa papunta ho dyan sa Senado. Dito naman mga kapatid, agad hong pinasinungalingan ito si Sen Pia na mga kapatid, wala raw ho siyang kinalaman na darating nga daw si Senator Bato. Wala daw po siyang problema na isakay si Senator Bato. Ang kaso, hindi naman daw siya dyan na sinakay nga si Sen Bato. Bakit daw siya dinadawit dyan sa issue? Isa pa mga kapatid, nag-init din ho ito si Sen Dante Marcoleta dyan na bakit nga ho pilit idinadawit siyang ICC dito kay Senator Bato de la Rosa. Kasi nga, ito nga si School Bukol, si Pinky Escalera, aprobado sa kanila na damputin siya ng NBI. Yan ho yung kinainit ng ulo nitong si Senator Marcoleta na bakit nga tinawag pa nga hong lintik itong ICC. Na bakit kailangan ipa-aresto itong si Senator Bato de la Rosa sa NBI para ano daw ho ba? I-drag ho nila, bit-bitin ho nila at mga kapdi, itapon daw ho sa ICC. Kaya yan po yung kinaiinit ng kanilang dugo. Ipuputok ho ng, alam nyo na mga kapdit, isa pa mga kapdit, hindi lang ito si Senator Marcoleta, nagipagsagutan na naman ho itong si Senator Robin Padilla dito nga kay, anong pangalan nun ito, si Kiko Machin mga kapdit. Dito talagang nagkakainitan ho yung tensyon ho dyan. Mismo si Kiko Machin mga kapdit, hinamon si Senator Robin Padilla na ihain niya daw sa ethics complaint ang kanyang reklamo doon ho sa pagsigaw niya dito kay Manoy. Ayan mga kapatid, kaya wala ko tayong pahabain. Kung bago lang kayo sa ating channel, isa like, isa share, isa subscribe lang ako, malaking tulong na yan. React na ho tayo, pasadahan muna ho natin kung paano nga nag-init ito si Sen Pia dyan kay Pinky Escalera. Kaya nga din, react na ho tayo.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, very briefly, I rise for a short manifestation which is very personal to me. Our rules are very clear, and every member of this chamber is expected to observe decorum, respect, and fairness towards one another. This is the foundation of parliamentary democracy and collegiality in this institution. And this is what the public deserves, for us to act with respect towards one another. As public officials, we are also bound by the Code of Conduct for Public Officials. And our civil code also requires that everyone acts with justice, gives everyone his due, and observe honesty and good faith. I would like to believe that in my 20 years, almost 20 years in the Senate, I have conducted myself with respect towards my colleagues regardless of political differences. Mr. President, today, a public statement was made by our colleague, Senator Ping Lacson, which was also posted in his YouTube page, suggesting that my vehicle was used to assist Senator De La Rosa in entering the Senate premises, which I quote, "Ang pagkakaalam ko, at least silang dalawa lang mag-ate, Cayetanos, ang nakakaalam tungkol kay Bato na darating." Dahil ang pagkakaalam ko, nakasakay si Bato sa kotse ni Senator Pia. Before I proceed, welcome, Senator Bato. I am happy na nakapasok ka. Wala akong problema na nakarating ka. But Mr. President, I go back. Sinabi man niya na sa pagkakaalam niya, ang katanungan ko po, Mr. President, nag-abala ba kayo mag-double check? Bago niyo yan sinabi sa public. Because despite that qualification, the statement was publicly conveyed in a manner that created the impression that I was directly involved in facilitating Senator De La Rosa's entry into the Senate premises. Again, okay lang po sa akin na nakarating siya dito. Wala ho akong problema doon. Let me state this clearly and unequivocally. That statement is false. Senator De La Rosa did not ride in my vehicle, nor did I have
Naku po,
anything to do
Pinky.
with facilitating his presence in the Senate last Monday. Hindi ko nga alam na darating siya.
Naku po yan mga kabita. Ito po yung mahirap dyan sa mga, alam niyo na, yung mga dating kasamahan ni Sen. Pia Cayetano na sila Pinky, sila ayan. Isipin po ninyo, dumating ito si Sen. Bato de la Rosa dyan sa Senado, mga kabit, inaakusahan pala ito si Senator Pia ni Pinky na pinasakay niya daw na di umano si Senator Bato de la Rosa sa kanyang sasakyan para ihatid ho dyan sa Senado. O ayan, sino po ba yung mag-aaway-away? Sino po ba yung magtatalo-talo? Sila din po yung mga dating magkakasama. Kaya itong ginawa ni Sen. Pia, mga kabit, na humiwalay na dyan kina Pinky Lacson, kina School Bukol, tama ho yung ginawa niya. At pumanig muna ho siya kina Sen. Loren Legarda dito ho sa mga dating minority na ngayon ay nasa majority. Kina Senator Alan Cayetano, kina Sen. Dante Marcoleta. Kaya ito mga kabita, bilib ako sa ginawa ho nila. Bilib ho ako sa ginawa nila na tama ho yan na baliktarin muna ho nila yung totoo. Baliktarin muna ho nila yung kabalbalang ginagawa ng mga kasamahan ho nila sila Pinky, sila Hontiveros, sila Kikumatsin. Tingnan nyo ho yung nangyari. Simula ho nakaluklok sila dyan sa majority, mga kabdik, napapaikot ho nila yung taong bayan, napapaikot ho nila na kesyo ganyan, napabaliktad ho nila yung totoong usapin, yung flood control na pag-uusapan pa ho ba? Tanong ko lang ho sa inyo, mga kabdik, sino ho ba yung tumatalakay dyan? Yung mga nasa minority, sila kung Dante Marcoleta, hindi na ho pinag-uusapan na majority, iniipit ho sila. Ngayon, ipapadampo to sila sa ICC, si Senator Bato, sino kasunod si Senator Bongo? O ngayon pinasinungalingan ho ni Sen. Pia na hinatid daw ho niya si Senator Bato. Yan yung pagkakasabi ni Pinky Lacson. Kaya lagot ho ito si Pinky Lacson. Lahat ho ng kabalbalan ng kasinungalingan, ginagawa ho nila para ho siraan ang kapwa ho nila. Senador, tama ho kayo mga kapatid.
Nalaman ko lang na darating siya dahil ang minority floor leader na kapatid ko tumayo dyan and he addressed the Senate President and nagpasalamat siya sa public service ng Senate President, Senator Tito Soto, which I also believe is well-deserved. Sinabi niya na maganda ang pakitungaan sa kanya ni Senate President Tito Soto. And then sinabi niya na we have the numbers and Senator Bato is present. Nagulat din ako. Katabi ko si Lawrence, sabi ko, nagulat ako, wala akong idea. Hindi ko alam kung nasan siya, hindi ko alam na malapit na siya. I have no idea kung nasan siya. So kung paano nadamay ang kotse ko is a mystery to me, dear colleagues, and the public. In fact, Senator Kiko can attest, you saw me downstairs sa basement dahil pareho kami dyan madalas dumaan at sabi niya pa sa akin, dito kayo nagdidiskusyon ng staff mo, hindi na dun sa hagdanan dahil ilang beses ko na siya naharangan sa hagdanan, sa hallway na napakakitid, na nagdidiskusyon with my staff. Sabi ko, nga haba ng mga diskusyon namin. Siguro naman kung dala ko si Senator Bato, medyo kinakabakabahan ako na makita ako dun ni Senator Kiko, di ba? So, it is a mystery to me. Paano ako nadamay at yung sasakyan ko? If the gentleman wanted to know paano nakarating si Senator Kiko, then why not ask Senator Bato, kung paano nakarating si Senator Bato, then ask him. Or ask the now Senate President, who was the one who said that nandyan na siya. Wala ko talaga akong alam. So, Mr. President, a false public imputation, whenever made, is exactly what the above-mentioned rules were designated to prevent. Unverified allegations about a colleague falls below the standard of professionalism that is demanded of public officials. Magulo na nga ang mundo, magulo na ang Pilipinas, wag na nating dagdagan. Don't say things about your colleagues that are not true. I trust that under the leadership of my brother, Alan Peter Cayetano, whom I know not just as a public servant, but as my younger brother, this chamber will conduct itself with sobriety, fairness, and respect for the truth and respect for one another. Mr. Senate President, I will keep this manifestation short. Napakarami pa akong trabaho. Mag-aaral pa ako para sa hearing ko on the rising prices of electricity. Mag-aaral pa ako to support our colleagues who will be the next chairperson of the Committee on Health, the Committee on Energy, at napakarami pa ho nating trabaho kailangan gawin. So I leave that as it is, and I hope that this will not be repeated again. Thank you.
Senator Marcoleta, can we give way to Senator Lacson since...
Thank you, Mr. President.
Go ahead, Senator Marcoleta.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Can we give
Magtatanong lang sana ako, Mr. President, kay Senator Pia. Mga ilang tanong.
Will Senator Lacson also interpolate
This is very short.
a manifestation?
Pero
Senator
Mr. President,
Marcoleta,
ako po nakatayo na rito bago pa siya tumayo. Siguro po, kung
would you
sino
allow
yung unang
me,
tumayo.
Senator Lacson, just because he was first, but he was mentioned, so I am in the quandary of who of the two gentlemen will give way.
May I, Mr. President?
Yeah. Senator Marcoleta, may I ask you this personal favor since the gentleman was mentioned?
Sige po, mas matanda naman siya sa akin eh.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
President.
Senator Lacson is recognized.
I want to put it on record that I sincerely apologize to our distinguished colleague, Senator Pia Cayetano. That information was relayed to me by a fairly reliable source, no? And if that was a mistake, then I sincerely apologize. I thought I made a public statement because I thought it was just a very not really a serious matter, but because maski saan sumakay si Senator Bato, as everybody would agree, it is of no moment. No? Sa amin siguro, kung malaman namin kay Senator Ligardo pa nakasakay, baka doon pa kami magkaroon ng issue. Pero maski kanino pa siyang nakasakay na sasakyan, lalo na from the majority, sa tingin ko wala naman pong problema, walang issue. Kaya parang isip ko, okay lang yung i-share ko yung information that I received from, ang sabi ko, from a fairly reliable source. Now, if it is false, then, or even if it is not false, then I sincerely apologize, Mr. President.
Well, Senator Pia said that she will leave it at that, so I will not refer it to any committee. Senator Lacson apologized, you accepted. If I may just interject that it might seem innocent, Senator Lacson, but to those who are commenting, they think it's a crime, even because people got confused with the timeline, that when he got here, we didn't know there was an ICC warrant and everything. I told the media after my sister speaks, sa akin siya nakasakay, and I did not tell my sister, and I did not tell many of the members in the majority that he will attend. Ang sabi ko lang, please be there. Senator Marcoleta.
Mr. President, tatanong ko lang po sana kay Sen Pia, kung halimbawa po ako'y nakisakay sa kanyang sasakyan, siya po ba o ako'y nakagawa ng isang krimen dito sa ating bansa?
Sa akin lang po, kung kahit sino sa mga kasamahan natin dito na they need a ride, na nangyari na yon. Minsan may event tayo, sumasakay ako sa kotse ni Senator Mig Subiri, nakasakay na rin ako sa kotse ni Senator Loren, nakasakay na rin ako sa kotse ni Senator Angara. Sino pa sa inyo hindi nagbibigay sa akin ng ride? I would be happy to give a colleague a ride. But I'm just saying, that's why I had to repeat na I don't have an issue with Senator Bato arriving in the Senate. I have an issue with the aspersion of malice na para
tama naman ho ito naging pahayag ni Senator Pia, mga kabdit. Wala naman ho siyang problema dito kay Senator Bato o wala naman pong problema, mga kabdit, na pasakayin si Senator Bato de la Rosa sa kanya sasakyan papunta dyan sa Senado. Ang kaso, ang problema ho dito ni Pinky Lacson, mga kabdit, nag-vlog ho siya, nagdadakdak ho siya na mismong si Senator Pia Cayetano daw ho ang di umano nagsakay kay Senator Bato. Siyempre, mga kabdit, kahit na wala kang problema sa isang issue na ganyan, iinit pa rin ho yung ulo mo, iinit yung tumbong mo na idinadawit ka sa isang bagay na hindi mo naman ginawa. Kumbaga, mga kabdit, nililinis lang naman ho ni Sen Pia ang kanyang pangalan. Wala naman ho problema doon. Tulad ho na sinabi niya, walang issue kahit na isakay niya si Senator Bato de la Rosa papunta dyan sa Senado. Ang ayaw niya lang ho, yung idadawit yung pangalan niya sa hindi nga naman ho niya problema. Tama ho yan, ito si Pinky Lacson. Yung problema ho niya dyan, yung pagiging baklita ho niya, yung pagkakaroon ho niya ng period, tulad ho na sinabi ni Sen Marcoleta, dapat sarilihin niya na lang ho yan, yung huwag idadama yung mga kapwa ni Senador sa kabalbalan ho ng utak niya. Ginagayad niya na ho kasi yung PCO, yung dyan sa Malacanang, mga kabdit. Walang iba, sino? Ang talakera ng Malacanang, Auntie Claire Castro. Gayang-gaya niya na ho eh. Senador ho siya, hindi siya reporter. Kung ano-ano yung pinapakalat niya. Diba?
Parang patago kong pinarating dito na gamit ang kotse ko na walang katotohanan. Kaya to answer your question, wala naman hong masama doon.
Yun nga po eh. Siya na rin po ang umamin na wala naman pong masama. Ba't kinakailangan pong gawan pa po ng post yun? Pangalawa pong tanong, Mr. President, Senator Pia. Kung halimbawa po, ginawa ko yun, nakisakay ako sa inyo, dahil meron lang akong gustong pagtaguan. Hindi po ba napagtitibay natin, nakasabihan nating mga Pilipino, at nakuha ko naman talagang magtago dahil nakisakay nga ako sa inyo. Hindi ba napatunayan natin ang isang kasabihan, Mr. President, Senator Pia, na nagtatali-talinuhan ng matsing, nauutakan pa rin. Salamat po, Mr. President.
Mr. President, this is not a response to Senator Marcoleta's questions or statements, but I just also want to put on record na yung tinatanggap ko po yung apology ni Senator Lacson. Wala akong problema sa akin yun. Kaya lang po, ako yung nakikiusap sa lahat ng kasamahan natin na mag-ingat naman tayo sa statements because these are very troubling times. Everybody is so sensitive. Kung sino yung kakampi mo, lahat na ng ginawa niya tama. Kung sino yung kagalit mo, lahat na ng ginawa niya mali. So why would you make a statement that would arouse angry feelings or questions about my credibility or about, anything that would, create any negative implication on your fellow senator. Sana po wag ganon. Yun lang sasabihin ko. Sana walang ganon. Kasi kung wala namang intensyon, di wag na lang sabihin, di ba? Yun lang naman po ang sa akin. Thank you very much.
Yes, emotions are high, but we are all called to a higher calling. We all have sentiments. I don't think it will be stopped. It will come out in the next few weeks depending on the issue. Having said that, as Senator Pangilinan said yesterday, maraming issue, kailangan tumutok. For the record, sa kotse ko sumakay si Senator Bato, as he said. When I talked to him and said, how can I go in the Senate? I was aghast. Senador kayo, bakit problemang pumasok ka? But naisip ko yung commercial ni Amang Parika, yung sabi, sumakay ka pa. Kaya sabi ko, sa akin ka na sumakay. That's why it's so obvious that I knew he was here because when I spoke earlier. Having said that, an apology was made, an explanation was made, so move on from that. Senator Marcoleta, because you gave in to my request, I'm listed as first in the privilege speech. You're second. I will ask you if you want to go first.
Thank you, Mr. President. And I rise on a question of personal and collective privilege.
Senator Marcoleta is recognized.
The sponsors of Senate Resolution number 395, four of whom, despite differences, I have my respects, except for one, Mr. President, are urging Senator Ronald De La Rosa to voluntarily surrender to the peoples of the proper authorities and seek judicial remedies in accordance with the Constitution and applicable laws and rules. Mr. President, I respectfully oppose this resolution on the ground that the moment Senator De La Rosa surrenders, he will be immediately brought outside Philippine territory and deprived of the protection and remedies of Philippine laws and courts. To surrender Senator De La Rosa is to effectively surrender Philippine sovereignty itself. The International Criminal Court Pretrial Chamber 1, Mr. President, has confirmed that it issued a warrant of arrest against Senator De La Rosa on November 6, 2025. It unsealed the warrant only on May 11, 2026. The warrant orders the arrest and surrender of Senator De La Rosa under Article 102 of the Rome Statute. To surrender Senator De La Rosa is to deliver him to the custody of the ICC in the Netherlands, a foreign jurisdiction where Philippine laws have no force and Philippine courts can do nothing. While the sponsors pretend that they want Senator De La Rosa surrendered to authorities in the Philippines, in reality, they want him handcuffed, dragged to the airport, dumped on a plane, and banished to the clutches of the ICC in the Netherlands. While the sponsors claim they want Senator De La Rosa to avail of Philippine judicial remedies, in reality, they want him removed from territorial jurisdiction of the Philippine courts and therefore deprived of the rights and remedies that every Filipino enjoy under our laws and constitutional protection of due process. In fact, Mr. President, if the sponsors will have their way, Senator De La Rosa is transported to the Netherlands. The constitutional issues now pending before the Philippine Supreme Court will become moot and academic. The Philippine Supreme Court will be ousted of jurisdiction and prevented from fulfilling its constitutional mandate. There will be no end to this constitutional crisis, for in the years to come, the ICC, with much delight, will pick us up one by one, Mr. President.
Tama.
Only the Supreme Court, Mr. President, can stop this nonsense. The sponsors of Senate Resolution number 395 cited the service of warrants of arrest on the late former Senator Juan Ponce Enrile, former Senators Laila de Lima, and former Senator Antonio Trillanes. But please take note, Mr. President, they did not mention that their co-sponsor, Panfilo Lacson, evaded service of arrest warrant. The sponsors acknowledged that the late former Senator Enrile, former Senator De Lima, and former Senator Trillanes were all subjected to arrest warrants issued by local courts. For the record, Mr. President,
Ayan nga ho mga kadita, yung pinapaliwanag ho ni Sen. Dante Marcoleta na local court ho ang umaresto o dyan sa Senado kina Trillanes, kina De Lima. Kung ikukumpara mo mga ka-update, ito kasi pag na-aresto na ho ito si Senator Bato, tulad ho ng nasabi ni Dante Marcoleta mga ka-update, sigurado, bibit-bitin, idadrag ho siya sa airport at ililipad ho saan? Sa ICC kasi nga ho meron na siyang arrest warrant doon. Mantakin po ninyo, gusto nyo ipalitis yung isang Pilipino sa mga banyaga, sa hindi naman mga Pilipino. Meron tayong sariling jurisdiction, meron tayong Korte Suprema. Diba? Saan ho nila ipapalitis? Doon, sa ibang bansa. Gayang-gaya ho kanino kay former President Rodrigo Duterte. Ganyan ho kawalang hiya yung mga nandyan ngayon. Yung mga makakapangyarihan ngayon, yung NBI, power tripping ho sila, pati mga senador kaya ho nilang bastos-bastusin ng ganyan. Di ba?
all of them have exercised their rights under Philippine laws and availed of Philippine judicial remedies. Yet the sponsors are blind to the peculiar situation of Senator De La Rosa. Unlike the late Senator Enrile et al., who face arrest warrants issued by Philippine courts, Senator De La Rosa is facing an arrest warrant issued by the ICC, a foreign court which jurisdiction the Philippines does not recognize anymore. Moreover, unlike the former Senator Enrile et al., who availed of the rights and remedies of Philippine laws and courts, Senator De La Rosa will be deprived of all this. as he will be banished to foreign land on the other side of the planet, beyond the reach of Philippine laws, and forever detached from his family and constituents. Therefore, if the sponsors are sincere in their desire that Senator De La Rosa be accorded the same rights and remedies as those enjoyed by Senator Enrile et al., they should not allow his surrender to the ICC. They should instead withdraw Resolution number 395. The sponsors recognize that under Republic Act 9851, it is the regional trial court that has exclusive original jurisdiction over offenses constituting crimes against humanity. This statement of the sponsors reinforces the position of the majority that the ICC warrant of arrest should not be implemented against Senator De La Rosa, and he must remain under the Senate custodial protection under the ICC arrest until the ICC arrest is quashed by Philippine court. First, Section 18 of RA 9851 provides that it is the Philippine Regional Trial Court that has exclusive original jurisdiction over crimes against humanity. Section 17 allows the transfer of jurisdiction to a foreign court only by way of extradition and provided by the Philippine court, provided the Philippine court is unable to try and decide the case. Therefore, RA 9851 itself bars the ICC from taking jurisdiction the acts attributed to Senator De La Rosa. Kagaya po ng nasabi ko na kahapon, Mr. President, wala po tayong extradition treaty sa ICC. At wala na po tayong membership sa Rome Statute sapagkat nag-withdraw na po tayo. Sa makatid, wala na pong treaty. Yun po ay nakasaad sa Article 17 ng 9851. Second, at the United Nations, the Philippine government, through the permanent representative, pronounced that the state policy under RA 9851, Philippine courts have the exclusive jurisdiction over crimes against humanity. It also declared that Philippine courts have the competence and capacity to try and decide these cases. Kung ganun po pala, this is the national policy already articulated even before the halls of the United Nations. Bakit pinipilit pa natin na iserve ang isang warrant of arrest na hindi na natin kinikilala ang jurisdiction ng lintik na ICC na yan? Hence, the Philippine state policy is to assert and exercise local jurisdiction rather than recognize foreign jurisdiction such as that of the ICC. Third, the Philippine government has assumed and exercised local jurisdiction under RA 9851 over the crimes arising from extrajudicial killings allegedly committed by Senator De La Rosa. Philippine local jurisdiction already set in when Senator De La Rosa was served a subpoena by the CIDG in connection with its investigation of said extrajudicial killings. Senator De La Rosa has stated that he is ready to respond to the subpoena. It is of no moment, Mr. President, that today the CIDG withdrew the subpoena. It is a legal ruse. It's a legal legerdemain. Ang akala nila kung withdraw nila yung subpoena, wini-withdraw na yung case. No, Mr. President, the case is kicking and alive. It triggered already the jurisdiction of our National Prosecution Service and eventually the courts of this country. The crimes under investigation by the CIDG are the same crimes for which the ICC has issued a warrant, Mr. President. Under the principle of complementarity, said ICC arrest warrants can no longer be enforced because there is now a genuine domestic investigation and prosecution currently taking place in this country. The assumption of jurisdiction by Philippines over the acts attributed to Senator De La Rosa and the person of Senator De La Rosa automatically and absolutely bar the ICC from exercising jurisdiction over the same acts and on his person. These circumstances, and by reason of the principle of complementarity and the Rome Statute, strip the ICC, Mr. President, of its jurisdiction. Therefore, given that the sponsors themselves admit that under Republic Act number 9851, Philippine courts have exclusive original jurisdiction over the crimes for which the ICC has issued an arrest warrant against Senator De La Rosa, given that the Philippines have assumed jurisdiction over said crimes when it served the subpoena on Senator De La Rosa, and given that Senator De La Rosa will respond to the subpoena, said sponsors cannot but agree that the ICC warrant of arrest should not be enforced on the good senator. It should be borne in mind, Mr. President, that the protective custody granted to Senator De La Rosa is for the sole purpose of ensuring the following. First, that only Philippine warrant of arrest, not an ICC warrant of arrest, will be enforced against him. Second, upon service of Philippine arrest warrant, he shall enjoy all the rights and privileges granted by the Constitution and the laws of the Philippines. Third, that he can avail of all Philippine administrative and judicial remedies and processes. Fourth, he shall remain in Philippine territory where he can exhaust all said administrative and judicial remedies and processes. And finally, and most important of all, the jurisdiction that the Philippines has assumed over his alleged crimes under R. 9851 must be exercised to the total exclusion of the ICC. Finally, Mr. President, the sponsors of Senate Resolution number 395 question the constitutional and statutory basis of the resolution granting De La Rosa, Senator De La Rosa, the protective custody of the Senate. These purposes, Mr. President, are legitimate. They do not contravene any Philippine law. In fact, they ensure that the Philippine laws are respected and enforced in Philippine territory to the exclusion of the Rome Statute that the Philippines no longer recognize by reason of its withdrawal therefrom. The protective custody granted to Senator De La Rosa addresses not only an extraordinary threat to his liberty, but also an existential threat to the integrity of the Philippine Senate, and by extension, a grave peril to the independence of the Republic itself from foreign interference. It is a threat emanating from a source that the Philippine Constitution laws did not anticipate. A foreign entity, Mr. President, the ICC, which jurisdiction is not only questionable but also lost due to the Philippines' withdrawal from the Rome Statute. The protective custody addresses a threat whose profound ramifications include regime change and outright interference in the sovereign affairs of the Philippines. To give inroads to the ICC is to enable it to structurally alter the Philippine Senate and disenfranchise Filipino voters for the arrested senator will be rendered futile, whose votes for the arrested senator will be rendered futile and meaningless. The ICC will transform Philippine agencies as its own puppet and tools and hold hostage Philippine officials, civilian and military, against whom it can initiate prosecution anytime and in perpetuity. The Senate's custodial protection is born out of self-preservation, which is the first law of nature for both men and institution, Mr. President. The Philippine Senate has granted custodial protection to witnesses in order to ensure the continuity and integrity of its legislative hearings. It is with more reason that it can and should grant custodial protection to its members to enable them to discharge their mandate unmolested by a foreign entity like the ICC and its local tentacles and subalterns. The Philippine Senate and its members enjoy privileges and immunities under the Constitution and laws so that they may discharge their functions effectively, efficiently. Specific privileges and immunities were designed to address the usual disruption to these functions. However, they did not anticipate disruptions from a foreign source. Thus, a purposive interpretation of the Constitution and laws is necessary in order for the Philippine Senate to meet new forms and sources of challenges. For this reason, Mr. President, it adopted Resolution number 44, and implemented the same with respect to Senator De La Rosa. The Philippine Supreme Court did not also see it coming. It has to do its job and rise to the occasion, Mr. President. In the end, the dignity and integrity of the person of Senator De La Rosa, as well as of any member of the Senate, including the sponsors, represent the dignity and integrity of the institution of the Philippine Senate vis-a-vis foreign interference. Resolution number 395 will weaken its dignity and in the process destroy its integrity as an institution that stands as the last bastion of democracy. Dapat lamang na ibasura ang resolution number 395. Maraming salamat po, Ginoong Pangulo.
Former Senate President, Minority Leader Senator Soto is recognized.
Thank you. Mr. President, parliamentary inquiry. I definitely don't mind after Senator Pia Cayetano took the floor because of the allegation that was brought out in media about her. So I definitely support that. But I wonder what happened to our agenda because after the roll call and after Senator Pia Cayetano, I was expecting the reading of the journal be approved and in the reference of business before the privilege speeches. So may I know from the majority
To answer
leader?
the Minority Leader, it's not a privilege speech. He rose on a
Yeah, I know.
matter
It's,
of collective
yes,
and personal privilege, which can be done anytime.
Yes,
and which has
I mean
priority.
Senator Pia Cayetano, there's no
Yes.
problem with that.
What I'm saying is that Senator Marcoleta,
I
I told
see.
him he can go ahead of me sa privilege speech, but he chose to rise on a matter of personal and collective privilege
All right,
instead
so-
of a privilege speech. That's my
right.
understanding.
All right, so then my question actually is for the majority leader, but if that is the answer of the...
That's my understanding, Majority Leader. Am I correct?
then we will do away with the agenda if that is the case. Go ahead.
Actually, that's not true, Minority Leader, because the question of personal and collective privilege can be as simple as you cannot hear the sound, may tubig na tumutulo, or may mga police or NBI sa labas. So, collective and personal. Having said that, he gave his speech and we can now go to the agenda. However, Senator Padilla actually had the floor last night, and we only asked him and Senator Pangilinan if we, and of course the graciousness of the Minority Leader, that we adjourn. So Senator Pangilinan is raising his hand and Senator Padilla is raising. What's the pleasure of Senator Pangilinan? But yes, go ahead, please.
Just a quick manifestation on the...
Yeah, if it's a Senator Padilla manifestation lang, no?
Yes, just a quick manifestation
Yes.
on the earlier speech delivered by Senator Marcoleta. Mr. President, I understand the resolution has yet to be referred.
Yes.
It has not been calendared. And we believe, after consulting with the authors as well as our minority leader, with due respect, we disagree with a number of the points and arguments raised by Senator Marcoleta, but that we prefer that the resolution be referred to the Committee on Rules, wherein we can discuss and perhaps hear it, Mr. President.
You're correct. We will follow the procedure. My
Thank you.
understanding is his rising on a question of personal privilege is why he took offense with the resolution.
And we share.
Yeah, and not the merits or
Yes.
whether or not we're going to pass it or not or put it on the floor.
Yes, and we're just sharing the sentiment
Yes.
of the authors that,
That's
while
in
we
order.
object and do not agree with a number of the arguments raised by Senator Marcoleta, we would rather that the same be referred to the Committee on Rules, where we can ventilate the issue further.
Your manifestation is in order
Thank you, Mr. President.
and at the proper time because it's not in our calendar of business.
Yes,
Senator,
Mr. President. Mr. President, may I respectfully refer the personal and collective privilege of the good senator, Senator Dante Marcoleta, to the Committee on Rules, Mr. President. So move.
is there any objection? If not, it's referred to the Committee
Yes.
on Rules.
Mr.
Senator
President,
Padilla?
I was about to, with the indulgence and with the approval of the body, as mentioned a while ago by our distinguished Senate President, the floor was yesterday, Senator Robin Padilla has the floor, and he is seeking the floor, Mr. President. May I be allowed first, Mr. President, to may I move that we acknowledge and recognize the good gentleman, Senator Robin Hood Padilla.
Senator Padilla, you're recognized.
Maraming salamat po, Ginoong Pangulo, at sa ating pinunong mayorya. Mga mahal kong kasama, mga kagalang-galang kong kasama, at mga karespeto kong mga kasama, meron po akong naiwang usapin kahapon sa ating sesyon. Tungkol po ito sa asal o decorum ng isa sa ating kasamahan. Kaya naman, muli po akong humingi ng pagkakataon na makapagsalita ukol dito upang ipaalala at bigyang diin ang ating mga alituntunin dito sa Senado. Naniniwala po ako na mahalagang mapanatili natin ang respeto, paggalang at kaayusan sa bawat pagdinig at talakayan. Ayon po sa ating rules, ang sabi po dyan, Section 93, Rule number 34, Unparliamentary Acts and Language. Ang sabi po dyan, acts and language which offend a senator or any public institution shall be deemed unparliamentary. Sa wikang Pilipino, ang mga kilos at pananalitang nakakasama ng loob sa isang senador o alinmang pampublikong institusyon ay itunuturing na hindi naaayon sa kagandahang asal ng parlamentaryo. Malinaw po na sutuntunin na ito ng Senado na anumang kilos at pananalitang nakakasama ng loob sa isang senador o sa alinmang pagpampublikong institusyon ay hindi katanggap-tanggap. Bilang sanggunian, ipapakita ko po sa inyo ang isang video ni Senador Kiko Pangilinan kung saan makikita ang isang mainit na palitan sa pagitan niya at ng isa pang nating senador at ngayon ay Senate President bilang halimbawa ng kontekstong aking tinutukoy.
Pwede mo ba sabihin sa anak mo, anak, pag mali sila, gumawa ka na rin ng mali. Anak, okay lang mangbastos kasi mas bastos sila eh. Anak, okay lang magbully kasi mas bully sila. Ako, hindi ko sasabihin yon. Ako, sasabihin ko,
At di yun ang sinasabi.
hindi, yun ang sinasabi mo, Mr. President, and I'm
No,
not yet
Mr.
finished.
President,
Kasi
of course
you said, tama
We
si
beg to
Tariela.
disagree,
Mr.
Mr.
President, I'm not yet finished. No?
Well, we beg to
So,
disagree.
Mr. President, this is the question. The resolution,
Ayun po, nakita po natin na napakagandang halimbawa na ilang beses pong gustong magsalita ni Senator Kiko Pangilinan na hindi dumaan sa tamang procedure na hindi binanggit ang Mr. President. Pumapasok po siya sa usapan, ngunit naging magalang ang Senator Alan Peter Cayetano sa mabuting pananalita. Sinabi po niyang, I'm not finished. Kahapon po, nakita po natin ang pangbubulyaw ng ating kasama. Ang sabi po nila, tayo daw po ay balat sibuyas. Hindi po yan pagiging balat sibuyas. Ito po ay nasa rules of the Senate. At ang sabi din po ng ating dating Senate President, na ito daw po ay nangyayari talaga. Nagsisigawan. Mga mahal kong kasama, kung ikaw ay nagsasabi ng iyong talumpati at ikaw ay passionate, okay lang yun. Pero para sigawan mo ang kasama mo, nasaan ang rules of the Senate? Si Ginoong Kiko Pangilinan ng ating senador ay ilang beses na pong senador. Ako po ay neophyte kung tawagin. Napakainam po sana kung pakitaan niya ako ng magandang asal at ipakita sa akin na ganito, iho, ang pagsasabi ng I'm not finished. Hindi yung I have the floor with the burning eyes and the very high voice. Ladies and gentlemen, on record po ito. Nangyari po ito on record sa Senado. Humihingi po siya ng pag-abot ng kamay sa akin, hindi na on record. Paano ko po tatanggapin ng kamay niya? Ginawa niya yan on record. Kaya sana po, hinihingi po natin bilang pakikisa sa aking dasal na siya ay, kung siya talaga ay nais niyang mag-abot ng kamay, on record. Sabihin niya mismo sa plenaryo na siya ay nagkamali. Katulad po ng ginawa ni Senator Lacson na tumayo kanina at nagsabing siya ay nagkamali. Hindi po ito usapin ng lalabas tayo sa media at sasabihin mong balat sibuyas ako. Di tapon na natin itong rules of the Senate. Tapon na natin to. Di pa natin pala susundin eh. Mga mahal kong kasama, ang sinasabi ko dito, tanggalin natin yan sa record dahil ayokong mababasa yan ng aking mga anak at apo na ang isang Muslim senator ay sinisigaw-sigawan dito sa plenaryo. Yun lamang po. Maraming salamat po sa binigay niyong pagkakataon.
Thank you very much, Senator Robin Padilla. We recognize once again Senator Kiko Pangilinan.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, ang suggestion ko ay dahil napanood ko kagabi sa balita na nais pong magsampa ng ethics case laban sa atin na si Senator Robin Padilla. So ang suggestion ko, isampa na yung ethics case at doon na po sa ethics committee natin pag-usapan ito dahil marami pang ibang mga mas importanteng bagay sa aking paniwala ang dapat natin talakayin. Maraming salamat po. For the record, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Senator Pangilinan. We recognize Senator Padilla once again.
Wala na po siguro mas importante kung rules of the Senate ang pinag-uusapan natin. So, ang ibig pong sabihin ba niyan na hindi kayang mahumingi ng paumanhin ng isang veteran senator? Para sa kanyang pagtaas ng boses? Yun po ba?
Nakikita ko po ang matamis ng ngiti ni Senator Kiko Pangilinan.
Napakahirap po bang sabihin nun at kailangan pa natin umabot sa ethics?
May I suspend session first? Okay. Sige. So approval of... Okay. Session is resumed.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, at this juncture, our distinguished Senate President, Senator Alan Peter Cayetano, would like to avail of the privileged hour. But before that, Mr. President, Madam President, may I be allowed to move that we dispense first with the reading of the journal of the 62nd session, May 11 and May 12, and consider the same as approved. I so move, Madam President.
Any objection? Hearing none. Motion is approved.
Madam President, our distinguished Senate President, Senator Alan Peter Cayetano, would like to deliver a privileged speech. I move that he be recognized, Madam President.
We recognize Senate President Alan Peter Cayetano for his privileged speech.
Thank you, Madam President. Dear colleagues, the book of James talks about faith, and the book of James basically tells us that faith without action is dead. So, importante po ang faith, pero importante po ay kumilos tayo ayon sa ating pananampalataya. Everyone has faith. Some people have faith in money, some people have faith in relationships, some people have faith in power. But of course, I'm talking about the faith in God, the faith in our country, and the faith in each other. So, Madam President, this leadership change is an opportunity for the Senate to take the lead in areas where the ordinary Filipino feel neglected. Without pointing fingers or no condemnation for any other leader or any other Congress in the past, let me talk about how I feel people feel at this point in time. I do believe that despite our algorithms in our social media and despite the news, most people are not talking about politics. Yes, they're talking about whether they like President Marcos, VP Sara, or all the other contenders. Whenever there are surveys in the news, pinag-uusapan sinong pambato nila sa 2028. But I would say that these are more politicians and political junkies. Most of our people are just trying to have a comfortable life, and more than that, just trying to exist. Yung personal safety lang, makapag-aral yung anak, madala sa ospital or may gamot man lang kung may sakit, how to make ends meet, paano siguraduhin na kung part-time yung trabaho, magkasya, pag hindi part-time yung trabaho, siguraduhin na hindi magsara yung kumpanya o yung maliit na negosyo. People are thinking about the future of the country, but the reality is we act as individuals and as families and as communities before we act as a nation. Madaming umaasa sa leadership change na to sa pagdating ng direksyon ng ating bansa. So we can keep talking about Senator Bato. And 100%, I will always owe him for risking his liberty. And after siya habuling kahapon, risking his safety and his life, risking his quality time with his family, risking the many, many things that he can do for being here today. No one can say where he'll be going in the next few days, the next few weeks. I really hope we all realize that the Constitution is the highest law of the land. Me, I follow the Bible, then the Constitution. So walang anumang bansa ang inuuna ang international court sa kanilang sariling konstitusyon. Kahit anong treaty po, Sabi po sa Pangilinan versus Cayetano Supreme Court case na kapag yung treaty o nilalaman nito o implementation nito, I'm paraphrasing, is unconstitutional, ang masusunod yung Constitution, hindi po yung batas. So putting that aside, putting aside, like everyone else, I am tempted to talk about politics or to talk about Senator Bato. When we talk about corruption, partly it is about politics because the mishandling of the flood control scam, and when I say mishandling, I'm talking in general, whether you talk about the ICC, whether you talk about the whole of government, whether you talk about the DPWH, whether you talk about the Blue Ribbon Committee, even myself, even my participation in any of this investigation or non-participation, nilalahat ko na. We all mishandled it. For many reasons, we didn't start with the truth. We didn't start with sino ang most guilty, ano ba talaga ang ghost, ano po ang hindi, etc. But the point is, Mr. President, Madam President, napakalaki ng issue na to in terms of amount and in terms of time and saan na ilagay. To give you a perspective, 50 billion lang ang budget ng DPWH in the last year of President GMA. But I think last year, 2025, kung na-release lahat, I think 2024, lumampas ng 1 trillion sa pesos sa DPWH alone. Pero hindi totoo na lahat ng flood control ay ghost. At hindi totoo na binulsa ang buong 1 trillion pesos or binulsa ang buong 350 billion. Pero yun ang tumatak. And the problem is, any Tom, Dick, and Harry na barangay captain, konsihal, mayor, congressman, even senators, administration, opposition, pag merong kang isang contractor dun sa lugar na yon, nakasama sa listahan, ang target hindi the truth eh. Ang target, dumihan yung kalaban. So, I remember from the start of my career, yung nagsasabi sa akin, pag naglabang kayo sa putikan, lahat kayo mapuputikan. No, you cannot get in the mud to fight someone and then siguro si Bato mukha ni Mr. Clean. But for the rest of us, when we're in the mud, di ba? The reality is madudumihan tayo. And the problem there, the context that I want to say is that during a crisis, we have a global crisis. Energy crisis, crisis of inflation, crisis of faith in government, crisis in international law. With what the US, Iran and its allies, US and Israel are doing. The rule of law is being debated all around the world. Even Europe, the oldest allies of the US, many of the principles is being thrown out of the window every day. So there are several crises ongoing. Kung titignan lang natin from a political lens yung corruption, sabihin natin political lang yan, partially true. Maraming gumamit ng flood control para tirahin lang yung kalaban. At the proper time siguro po, we'll go to that, but I don't want this to be a political speech. But look at it from a social, economic, and moral lens. From an economic lens, we did not only mishandle the investigation, but what to do when we found out of all this corruption. So government spending is so important to our GDP and productivity of our country, nag-slow down to. Until today po, hindi masyadong nagre-release ang DBM at nahihirapan pa rin ang DPWH at yung ibang ahensya na mag-bid. Maraming dahilan yan. Ito problema. Dalawa harapin natin. Tag-ulan, so malamang maraming baha na dadating. And wala naman nagbago since the flood control scam So malamang marami tayong baha. God forbid, sana hindi. But ang problema towards the end of the year, opposite naman ang problema. Meron daw po tayong super El Nino. So sobrang init at walang tubig, apektado naman ang ating agriculture. I hope all the predictions about the calamity and the state of our economy will be wrong. I hope it will be very, very much rosy. But if you look at the GDP projections, for example, since the last quarter last year, 50% off So pag sinabing 5%, 2.5%. Pag sinabing 6%, 3% lang. Ang layo. And the GDP might look like, a highfalutin economic term, and I'd rather use presyo, trabaho, kita. Masyado ba mataas ang presyo na hindi natin mabili yung dapat natin bilhin? Maliit ba masyado ang kita na hindi pa rin natin pwedeng bilhin yung gusto natin bilhin kahit mababa ang presyo? And trabaho. May trabaho ba ang tao? And not only trabaho na kumikita ang tao, but trabaho ba na may dignidad? So from an economic lens, corruption affects our everyday problems. And I think during the times that we talk about big scandals in our country, corruption scandals, suddenly, hindi lang presyo, trabaho at kita, hindi lang PTK, may isa pang K or C if English ang gagamitin natin, corruption. So right now, I feel that on the mind of every mother, of every father, of every lolo, lola, is the basics, health, education, pagkain, kuryente. Of course, sa mga highly urbanized, it's the internet, no? Food prices are steadily rising. Unfortunately, it seems that the 7% inflation rate is here to stay. Hindi mawawala yon. So just put it simply, kung kumikita ka ng 100 pesos in the year, 93 pesos lang ang halaga ng pera mo kasi 7% yung inflation. I mean, you can argue with me about the math, pero simplihan lang natin, di ba? If you have 1,000 pesos, 930 na lang yan. If you have 10,000 pesos, 9,300. So hindi masyado tumataas ang minimum wage at ang sahod sa ating bansa. Pero yung presyo ng bilihin, at least 7%. Yun ang problema natin sa food prices. Bakit po? Hindi naman po lahat sa inflation rate ay food prices, although most of it is food prices. So food is rising even higher than 7%. We are an archipelago where we lack fish. Hindi tayo makapagpangisda. I mean, I know Senator Pangilinan spoke much about this and many other senators in the past, but that's a reality now. Hindi natin makalimutan yung mga ka-age ko na ang isang kampanya po ni Madam President Cory Aquino noon is magkano ang presyo ng galunggong at that time in 1986. And short time after that, or sometime after that, nag-i-import na tayo ng galunggong. Ngayon po, luxury na po ang galunggong. In fact, nung araw sabi sa amin, may asin ka lang, o I remember yung kwento ng amin dating Vice Mayor, may kapitbahay siya na may mga shell ng kohol. So gagataan nila yon at libre pa naman ang kangkong nung araw. Pagkatapos nila gataan at kainin yon, ibibilad nila yung shell. Bakit po? Kasi pag hiniram nung kapitbahay yung shell, gagataan ulit dahil ang kailangan mo lang ay yung gata at saka yung kangkong, tapos yun ang ulam sa kain. But we know in the last 10 years, pati kanin naging luxury na. Kaya nga may makikita kang pamilya ng 4, 5, 6, 7, isang noodles na hati-hati na. Of course, we did not ignore that. We have passed many laws making sure that we fortify even the noodles. We have kahapon, Senator Tulfo, yung AIX law. We have many interventions, no? But this crisis that we are facing, hindi natin ramdam kaagad dito sa Senate kasi air condition, kasi kahit papano, mataas ang sweldo. Diba? Ang unang nakaramdam nito, mga tricycle driver, jeepney driver, yung mga naka-diesel. Pero nabigyan isang beses ng ayuda, that doesn't mean okay na sila. Kasi pababa ng pababa yung kanilang kita. More than 70 days after February 28, the economic slowdown is now affecting our investment level. Even the sentiment, nagdadahan-dahan na. And even yung mga sigurado, katulad halimbawa ng mga pharmaceuticals, medyo wala kailangan mo talaga bumili ng gamot kung may sakit ka. But most of our medicine is imported. And even those that are generic and are produced in the Philippines, to get them through Metro Manila with the traffic and the logistic costs have doubled. Not to mention if you have to bring it to Masbate, you have to bring it to Aklan, to Catanduanes, to Romblon. The logistics in Mindanao or even Batanes is incredible because again, apektado tong lahat. The prices of gas was expected to go back to normal during the first few days of the crisis. Unfortunately, tinamaan yung critical infrastructure. So halimbawa po, sa Qatar at Bahrain, nung tinamaan po ang natural gas, ang subproduct or yung byproduct ng natural gas is urea or yung pangunahing ingredient or ginagamit na fertilizer. So tatlo kagad yung tama. Bakit? Europe uses liquefied gas or natural gas for heating. So tumaas ang presyo ng diesel dahil yun ang kapalit. Tapos nung tinamaan yung production ng yung mismong planta ng urea, tumaas ngayon yung presyo ng fertilizer. India, who has the best processing plants or one of the best and supplies to us and to Asia, ang problema, they have more than 1.4 billion people. And they also use heating gas, they also use diesel, they also use urea, and they are the first to say, we will not export rice, we will not export fertilizer unless our needs are there. So I thank the Vietnamese government for continuing to help us by the supply of rice. In a recent survey, only 10% of people believe that government, so hindi lang po to hindi lang to Office of President, Vice President, Senate, House, local governments, although ang tingin ko kung magsa-survey tayo, mas mabango ang mga local governments kasi silang frontline. Only 10% of people believe that we are actually addressing the high prices of even the basic goods. 90% says that inflation, wages, 95% says that all of these are serious issues. 75% says that corruption has increased in the last 12 months. No, not only that we're not addressing it properly. So once we think that corruption is a way of life, I will go. So I went to the political, talking about the economic. I will now go to the social and the spiritual. Once we start believing na hindi natin to kaya, once na naniwala tayong bahala na, once na sinabi natin, hindi, corruption, hindi natin matatanggal yan, it's our soul that gets damaged. We start believing that values can be changed. We start believing that, konting corruption, okay na rin yan, etc. Economically, there are empirical facts that some nations, certain level of corruption